Glad to see that Mr. Hinton has a complete open mind about having an SLR cable installed for the media and other people. His simple answer was no. Quite an open mind. Now, as far as it's just something that could be thought of. Sometimes you do have a crowd. I want to direct your attention to the fact that Mr. DeVozo is the second highest paid county employee there is. The only one you pay more to is the prosecutor. It might be time to consider, now that he has run the landfill out of the county and now he's run recycling out of the county, that he's not a very good manager. He's great at these presentations because he had to be great in order to survive during the landfill sale. But he's not a very good manager. Perhaps that should be addressed. Someone who tenders their letter of resignation has usually got more than 1 foot out the door. So, but that's up to the Board of Public Works and Mr. DeVozo, and again, I'm glad the public was informed how tied your hands are in this situation. Literally, it's run by the sheriff. Thank you for your time on it. Thank you for the response. I don't know if these people understand how quick you got these answers, but you got them up here pretty fast and pretty complete. So I want to thank you on that, on a positive note. Sometimes you guys do something, and sometimes the snowbirds stick in town for this. So thank you much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board under public comment?
Yes, I'm certainly not surprised by the feedback that we got from the county attorney. In part, those were responses that I had expected. One of the things that I'm a little concerned about is that the Board of Commissioners' resolve is to leave it in the hands of the county administrator to explore some alternatives. I really feel it's the board's responsibility. You guys do have subcommittees that include finance, public safety, things of those nature. And to me, it seems most befitting that as the board members, you guys participate in identifying possible other municipalities, whether it's within the own county or even other possible 501c3 organizations. In his report to you guys just now, Mr. Hinton indicated he's very busy and has not been able to address all the things he needed to with what he's already working on, and I think it's inappropriate to expect him to be able to thoroughly address something of this gravity. We're talking about strong allegations of inhumane treatment, which clearly have the potential of criminal acts. This one accusation has offered splintering concerns. I appreciate and I do recognize that you guys have quickly responded. I'm very disappointed with the recommendation of leaving it to Mr. Hinton to explore. I think that's a cop-out, and I really, really want to ask you guys to please send this issue into subcommittees and more actively participate in finding a resolution for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm here tonight only to confirm that I am no longer associated with the Wexford County Council on Aging Board of Directors. You probably read the front page. In the packet I've handed out is a letter from Mrs. Forbes dated January 16th, but not received until the 24th. It could have been in the mailbox on the 23rd, but I didn't get the mail that day. I've also included and highlighted the newly adopted section of their bylaws regarding membership on the board. I was the only board member employed by an agency that receives funding channeled through the COA. As we know, the Grant Senior Center would not be receiving any funds had it not been for the action of the Board of Commissioners. I've also included and highlighted a portion of the COA conflict of interest policy that states persons who wish to serve on a COA board of directors will not be disqualified because of a known conflict of interest. At the beginning of each year, board members sign a statement stating whether or not they have a conflict of interest. my 2012 statement is missing. Since January 2012, I have diligently stated, as required at the beginning of each meeting, any conflict of interest on the agenda, possible conflict. I have also abstained from voting on anything that would have affected the Manton Senior Center or me personally. I accept the WCCOA Board of decision and will continue to serve the senior citizens, not only from the Manton area, but all of Wexford County. Of course, the Manton Senior Center, everybody is welcome to Wexford County. Just so that you guys know I'm no longer associated with that. The other thing, just on a personal note, on recycling. At the Manton Senior Center, Ms. Green comes up for $12 a month and picks up everything, and we don't have to do anything. We were sending employees to the landfill when the recycling was there. And when that either closed or the bins were full, the employee went down to the center on 115 and was treated so poorly I will never let her go back. And I couldn't afford to even have them go to the landfill for what it costs to have them pick up. Ms. Green does a terrific job. For $12, you can put your recycling out by your house and she picks it up. So, just...
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board?
I just have a quick comment / question. My name is Heidi Scanlon from Cadillac. Being that we're resting with letting the euthanasias be under the undersight of Dr. Meyer, I would like to reference an article that was in the newspaper this weekend that was a clarification on his part based on what he was going to do. And what the newspaper stated was that he was going to allow the animals who required euthanasia to be brought to his office, where he would then train the staff to complete the euthanasias until they felt comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Crystal Johnson, and I'm a citizen of Wexford County. And I wanted to comment on the animal shelter, and I know we just got some legal advice on what we can and cannot do, and I know it seems that our hands are tied. But one thing I think that we did miss is that while only the Department of Agriculture can investigate policies and procedures, we do have the ability to investigate fiscal responsibility. Now, I made a list of some of the things that are required at the shelter. We've only talked about euthanization. We haven't talked about the cost of a no-kill shelter or anything like that. We've just talked about getting this particular situation done because of inhumane treatment. Parts of what this shelter does is euthanization, adoption, training. We should have policies and procedures that we're supposed to follow. Licensing. We do have a fiscal responsibility which requires budgeting. It also requires buying food, cleaning supplies, things like that. Record keeping. There's a certain amount of ethics that's involved. And also fundraising, grant writing, any kind of donations that are made to the shelter. Now, what I understand from looking at the budget that I've seen online, and I've only seen the 2011, I have not seen the 2012, is that there seems to be a lot of money, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of, where's it going, how's it happening, how many animals, how many dogs, how much did these people adopt them? If you've got only 3 deposits for the whole year of 2012, how do you know that somebody doesn't come in to adopt an animal, pays cash, it's not in the system, and you never see it because it goes in a tin can somewhere until somebody makes it to the bank and puts it in. So what I'm saying is you are not with your hands tied. You do have an obligation and you have an opportunity to investigate how many dogs were adopted, how many dogs were euthanized, how much did it cost per dog, how much money was brought in per adoption, cats or dogs. Does it match the balance budget? Does it match the balance sheet? That you can do.
Thank you.
Laura Squire, Henrietta, Michigan. I guess my comment is I'm really, really disappointed that we as a community have put this circle around the sheriff's department to take control over the animal shelter. And from what I've read, if you have a complaint about an animal, you call the sheriff's department. If You gotta complain about how the shelter's going, you gotta get a hold of the sheriff.